Woo! It's been one of these days. Ooh, y'all, it's been one of these days. First of all, let me say this. Rest in peace, Aretha Franklin. You are a national treasure, an icon. As people have already said, your music was the soundtrack to our lives for 6 decades, almost. And now's the time to honor you. Y'all know this video is serious. I got my glasses on. I posted a video, and because I'm a professional comedian, all my videos have a comedic slant. And I was just posting what I felt. It was humorous, and it just blew up. I did not expect it to blow up like this. As of right now, the video has over 280,000 views and over 15,000 shares. Obviously, the video resonated. And it resonated because most of the people got it. Most of the people got what I was saying in this video. Some people wanted to get technical. This is not a time for technicalities. This is a time for good old-fashioned common sense and decency. And what Donald Trump did a few hours after finding out that Miss Franklin had passed was not decent. It just was not decent. I have people coming on my page, well, if he didn't say anything about it, you'd have been complaining then. Well, honestly, a lot of us would have rather that he didn't say anything than what he said. Let's go to what he said. He said, I want to begin today by expressing my condolences to the family of a person I knew well. She worked for me on numerous occasions. Okay, so he started out good. Then it went south. So if you knew this woman so well, why are you reading off of a prepared statement? People who know somebody well just speaks from the heart. That's what humans do. Or what is it, that he has no heart? The Tin Man has no heart? Because that should have been real easy. He could have got 2 sentences out. You didn't need to look down at a piece of paper like you a hostage on a plane and come up with that nonsense. She worked for me on numerous occasions. To most of the people in the African American community, it felt like he was diminishing her. It felt like he was reducing this national treasure to the help. That's what it felt like. And if you're not an African American, you won't understand it. No, I won't even say that. I got some white friends that completely got it. But for some reason, the Trump supporters don't get it. I mean, they don't get a whole lot of stuff. But they didn't see it like the rest of us saw it. And then they want to prove to me that Trump isn't a racist by coming on my page and saying racist things. The N-word and monkey and all this stuff. And all it did was make me laugh. I got to tell y'all, when you come on my page with these 3rd grade insults, which is the same thing Trump does, so I understand why you support him. All it does is make me and most people like me laugh, because it says more about you than we'll ever say about me or anybody else. So you want to prove you're not a racist by calling me the N-word and a monkey and all this other stuff. First of all, it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. And I don't answer to any of that. So you can miss me with that stuff. And no, not all Trump supporters are racist, but all racists are Trump supporters. So in the words of Chris Cuomo, let's get into it. If Donald Trump and Aretha Franklin were such good friends, why didn't he know her well enough to just talk from the heart? And people want to be technical. She worked for him once in the 80s, once in the 90s, and in 2012 she did something there, but he had already sold the casino and they continued to pay for his name. Let's talk about bookings. I'm a professional comic. I play all over the world. When I work casinos, the owner of the casino does not book me. The booker books me. You don't even have to see the owner of the casino. Half the time they don't even know you've been booked. So all that she worked for me, it just sounds like at the end he was still getting a dig in, because everybody knows Aretha was an Obama supporter. Aretha also performed for Hillary Clinton's campaign while Hillary was campaigning. Everybody knew that. So if you don't have loyalty to him, he really don't have nothing for you anyway. So I felt like that was a little dig, because he couldn't even talk from the heart. And everybody else, had the nicest things to say about Aretha. Even people who she had performed in their spots before too. She's an independent contractor. I'm an independent contractor. We go everywhere. But I think when I die, people that book me for their one nighter ain't gonna go, she worked for me. Most people have real good human responses. Talk from the heart. Look at Clive Davis. Let's look at what Clive Davis said. Hold on, let me find what Clive Davis said. Give me 1 second, y'all. This what happen when you're doing everything on your own. Clive Davis said, right here, I'm absolutely devastated by Aretha's passing. She was truly one of a kind. She was more than the Queen of Soul. She was a national treasure to be cherished by every generation throughout the world. Apart from our long professional relationship, Aretha was my friend. Her loss is deeply profound and my heart is full of sadness. Now this sounds like a friend and someone who knew her really well. And guess what? In 1980, Clive Davis signed Aretha Franklin to Arista Records. You talk about somebody who could say, work for me? That's Clive Davis. Clive Davis didn't use that moment to say that. He used that moment to speak as a human being speaks. So part of the reason why people are annoyed is because the timing was off too. The timing was off. And after he said that, I could hear Aretha Franklin from the grave going, think about what you're trying to do to me. Think. Because we all knew what he was trying to do to her. And the biggest problem with this situation is the different ways white people and black people see the same thing. You know, and it's been that way forever. We don't see most things the same. You know, we just don't see it the same. That was tacky. That was a tackhead move. And we just don't see it the same. And that's really the biggest takeaway from this Aretha Franklin incident. Aretha Franklin would have never been friends with Donald Trump. She was a civil rights icon. She marched with Dr. King. She sang at his funeral. She knew about the Central Park Five, just like all the rest of us. And she was a woman who demanded respect. And Donald Trump has never given it. A pussy grabber? Really? Are you serious right now? So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And you can find photos of any people together in public events. People putting all these photos up to show that they were friends. Photos do not mean people were friends and that they knew each other very well. You can find tons of photos with Trump and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. They're not friends. They don't know each other very well. So showing those photos don't mean anything. That has nothing to do with the relationship. So I just, you know, it doesn't make any sense. It's just... this whole thing is a trip to me, you know, and this post resonated because that's not how you treat people. That's not how you treat people. The lady just passed away and he managed to make it about himself. The man is a malignant narcissist and people are getting sick and tired of it. And people love to jump on here and protect him and take up for him. No, this is the same man who said he loves the poorly educated. Well, now we know why. And he also said he could go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and wouldn't lose a supporter. Well, wait a minute. Aren't y'all supposed to be the party of law and order? So basically, you just admitted that even that's bullshit. R.I.P. Miss Franklin. R.I.P. Miss Franklin. Those who really treasured you would never even thought about saying worked for me on numerous occasions. Why is me anywhere in her condolence message? Me in her condolence message? Ivanka, come get your daddy. So now let's take time to remember Miss Franklin. Let's honor her memory. Let's all log off here and go listen to some of her music. Hug your family, love others, be good to others, and most of all, be good to yourself. I'm going to end this with an Aretha Franklin video because this is her day, her time. You know, this is still fresh to everybody that she's not here any longer because we've spent so much time with Miss Franklin. And most people have a story about how much their elders loved Aretha Franklin. I have a story about something my late mother said to me about Aretha Franklin. It was a little bit traumatic. My mother said, my mother and father moved out to LA in the late 60s so that my mother could go to UCLA. And my mother, they lived in an apartment, and my mother said all the people in the apartment knew when my mother and father were having sex because Aretha Franklin was playing. I was like, okay, Mom, TMI. You know, no kid wants to ever think about their parents having sex. So after my mom passed, I told my father this story. And my father said, I don't know about all that. I thought he was going to refute the fact that that happened. My father managed to make it worse. He said, I don't know about all that. It didn't matter what was playing. I said, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. That's what I get. That's exactly what I get. I should have left well enough alone. But Miss Franklin was the soundtrack to my parents' life, my grandparents' life, my great-grandmother. Woo, Granny loved Aretha Franklin. So black folks take this personally, you know. And Aretha did one-nighters for tons of people over her 60-year career. None of them people came out and said she worked for me. Just think about that. They left heartfelt condolences, heartfelt messages. You can check their Twitter page. Barack Obama, beautiful message, because he's a beautiful man. So, follow me on Instagram at Alicia Cooper 2, ALYCIACOOPER, the number 2. And follow my YouTube under my name. I got a lot of other videos. If you like that one, you'll like the others. Thank y'all.